So, hi, good afternoon. All good? So, uh, Pushyabhuti dynasty was the last topic. And after that, we needed to see the Chalukya and Pallavas, who were the contemporary of the Pushyabhuti. Then, after the completion of that particular topic, we'll go into the tripartite struggle in the north, central, and eastern and western India between the three dynasties, which are Rashtrakoot, Pratihar Gurjar, and Pal dynasty. And the last in the ancient would be mainline Chola dynasty, also called as Imperial Chola. Then, so with their rule, the ancient timeline comes to end. And basically, what we are studying right now, ye 700 ke baad, in general, it is called as early medieval. Okay? So early medieval. So basically, we are studying early medieval, and then we'll end early medieval, and then after the medieval part. But in medieval, the very first discussion would be related to the invasions which has happened in India, and that has led to the foundation of the Islamic rule in India. So let's start with the two dynasties which emerged in the southern India, Pallava and Chalukya. So Pallavas and Chalukyas. So now listen, that when it comes to Pallavas and Chalukyas, so they came to prominence in the 6th century AD. Then, and this prominence in the 6th century AD is basically, they are rising at the place of which rulers? So the early Cholas. So demise of the early Cholas, their rule has declined, and the dynasty which emerged in the Kanchi was the Pallava, and the one which emerged in the Badami was Chalukya. And so one is Karnataka based and another is the Tamil Nadu and Andhra based dynasty. Then, so when it comes to these two dynasties, they, right from the beginning, they were fighting for one of the very fertile area, and this fertile area is known as Tungabhadra Doab. So right from the beginning, these two dynasties are fighting to establish their control on Tungabhadra Doab. In fact, this fight will be renewed later on. At whose time? Vijayanagar kingdom. When Bahmani and Vijayanagar kingdom are fighting, so they are also fighting for the same area, but the name is Raichur Doab in those times. So exactly it is the same area. So they started fighting with each other from the beginning itself. In one such initial fight, the initial Pallava ruler, Mahendra Varman, and one of the initial Chalukya ruler, Pulakesin II. So there was a big fight between the two regarding this particular control of the Tungabhadra Doab, in which Mahendra Varman was defeated by Pulakesin II, and his death also happened after this particular defeat. So Pulakesin has captured the area then, and he has captured area Tungabhadra Doab, but exactly it is today's area of Amravati, which is capital of the Andhra. Then there was another name of Amravati. In those time, it was called as Vengi. Then, now Pulakesin II has given Amravati to his brother Vishnu Vardhan. Then, and later on, Vishnu Vardhan will be establishing eastern branch of Chalukya. So the original Chalukyas will be known as Western Chalukya, and the one who are based in the Vengi, they will be known as the Chalukyas of the east. Then apart from it, in the due course of time, one more branch of Chalukyas emerged, which is known as Kalyani Chalukya. So Kalyani Chalukyas are basically the coastal part of the Karnataka and Maharashtra, combining area. So there also emerged a third branch of the Chalukya. So mention karo isko, right? In the 6th century BC, AD, not BC, sorry. So in the 6th century AD, two new dynasties emerged in the southern India. Two new dynasties emerged in the southern India at the place of early Cholas. At the place of early Cholas. Then mention further. Number one, so you write Pallavas were based in Kanchipuram. Pallavas were based in Kanchipuram. Shall I write? So Pallavas were based in Kanchipuram, and Chalukyas in Badami, Karnataka. Chalukyas in Badami, Karnataka. Then mention further. From the very beginning, after full stop, from the very beginning, both the dynasties started to fight with each other. Both the dynasties started to fight with each other to control the very fertile Tungabhadra Doab. Very fertile Tungabhadra Doab. Mention. The initial fight happened between Pallava ruler Mahendravarman. The initial fight happened between Pallava ruler Mahendravarman and Chalukya ruler Pulakesin II. And Chalukya ruler Pulakesin II. Then mention. Mahendravarman was thoroughly defeated. And it led to his death. So now listen. So death of Mahendravarman happened, and after it his son Narsimhavarman, he became the next ruler. So now listen. So Narsimhavarman became the next ruler. He wanted to take the revenge from the Pulakesin II. And meanwhile, कि जब तक तैयारियां हो रही हैं, that the preparations are happening. So the fight between Harshvardhan and Pulakesin II has already happened. Pulakesin II has defeated Harshvardhan also, and then after a friendship treaty. But that is the time when Narsimhavarman was making the preparation, and then all of a sudden Narsimhavarman has attacked on the Chalukya capital Badami. And not only he defeated the Chalukya ruler Pulakesin II, but then it led to his death also, and moreover he captured the capital Badami. So Narsimhavarman, Pallava ruler, he has captured Badami, and then he took the title. Okay? So he took the title which is known as Vatapi Kondi. So the original name of Badami is Vatapi. So he took this title Vatapi Kondi. Then moreover, to celebrate this victory, what he did that on the banks of river Kaveri, he created a new city. Okay? So, oh sorry, no. That not Abhi. Take it thodi der baad. Gangai Kond Cholapuram, not because of this victory. He has just taken a title. Then after the next detail is these two dynasties were involved in the temple construction at that particular point of time. In fact, this is the initiating phase of the temple construction in the South India. So for example, that when we talked about the Guptas, so Gupta's rule is also known for the beginning of the temple construction in North India, but to be very specific, for the first time temple construction started during the Gupta's regime. Now when it comes to the southern India, so two styles of the temple developed under these two dynasties. So Chalukyas, basically their regime led to the development of Vesara style of temple, and so this is related to Chalukya. And the other one, Pallavas, they are regarded as the initiator of the Dravid style of temple. So basically these two topics we don't deal over here. I leave it for the art and culture, where the very first chapter when we start, so architecture and sculpture, so there we start with this particular topic, or basically in the 5th or 6th class the Pallava and Chalukya temples would be there. So mention karo, you write. What is the last line that you have written? Death of Mahendra Varman. So you write, after some point of time, his son, nahin, just 1 minute. Have you written that part, this Vishnu Vardhan part? Kaat do usko. Sorry. Kaat do usko and then you write. So you have written about the Pulakeshin second. Mention. Pulakeshin gave the area of Vengi. Pulakeshin gave the area of Vengi or Amravati to his brother Vishnu Vardhan. Full stop. Then mention. In the later times, eastern branch of Chalukyas was established at Vengi. Then mentioned. By the end of 8th century, another branch of Chalukyas emerged at Kalyani. Then a paragraph change karo. Mention. So mention. After the death of Mahendra Varman, his son Narsimha Varman attacked on Chalukya capital Badami. He defeated Pulakeshin II and captured his capital Badami. He took the title of Vatapi Kondi. In brackets you can write conqueror of Badami. It's written on both. So the meaning of this word, conqueror of Badami. Vatapi Kondi. And then change paragraph and mention. Right. Both the dynasties are regarded as initiator of new style of temple art in southern India. Full stop. Pallava's patronage led to the development of Dravid style of temple, and Chalukya's patronage and Chalukya's patronage led to development of Vesara style. Then one last paragraph you write. Pallava dynasty came to a complete end in 890 when one of their feudatory usurped the power. Then, so we'll talk about this feudatory. Basically, who are they? Early Cholas. Okay, so not early, that mainline Chola, but they are branch of the Chola. Okay, they are not in the rulership. They have become Darbari, but then once again they will come to prominence. So now this is the part of and they were the contemporary of the Harshvardhan. Then now let's come to the northern India. Harshvardhan's death we mentioned in 647, and then after the Pushyabhuti dynasty continued till 700, but by 700 there was a complete demise and decline of the Pushyabhuti. So then once again that the area which is ruled by Harshvardhan, it has to be filled by some dynasty, and it was filled by 3 newly emerging dynasties. So the number 1, we talk about the Pal dynasty of the Bihar, Bengal, or basically Eastern India. And then emerged the Rashtrakutas of the Central India, and so as the Pratihar Gurjar of the Western India. Then, so now let's come back to North. Mention North. And in North, so just write one paragraph. After the decline of Pushyabhuti dynasty, their erstwhile ruled area paved the way for the rise of 3 new dynasties. That is Pal of East, Pratihar Gurjar of West, and Rashtrakoot of Central and Deccan. Rashtrakoot of Central India and Deccan. Then, so write the title, Pal Dynasty of the East. So all of them, okay, these Pal dynasty, Pratihar, Gurjar, they all have come to prominence by 750. So Pal dynasty. Now listen. So as far as the Pal dynasty is concerned, that they have come to the prominence by 750 AD, and then initial ruler was Gopal. Then, so Gopal, and then it's not an English word which has been combined with the Pal. His name was Gopal. Then, so he came to power. But then, the most important ruler of this dynasty was the Dharampal. And so we'll talk about that, what are initiatives. But before that, as far as the capital of this area is concerned, there were many capitals then. But the most important capital in the due course of time was Munger. What we call Munger. So Munger used to be their most important capital. But then there were transferring capitals also at many places. Now, as far as the Dharampal's regime is concerned, this regime is remembered for the promotion of the Buddhism. And which Buddhism? A new version of the Buddhism. So, which one? Vajrayana. Good, very good. So, Vajrayana Buddhism, the new branch of Buddhism. You will be reading about the Hinayan, Mahayana in due course of time in the art and culture classes, but here the third very important sect of the Buddhism, Vajrayana, emerged. Now, the foundation of the Vajrayana Buddhism was laid in the Nalanda University itself. Okay? So it was laid in Nalanda itself, and moreover, you remember that Nalanda University was established by Kumaragupta. But then Nalanda came to prominence during the Pala dynasty only. And in fact, it is the Dharmapala who gave 200 villages, okay? 200 villages to this particular university. Why 200 villages se kya fayda hoga? Revenue, actually. So all the revenue which is generated from the 200 villages, it will go into this. Moreover, he further strengthened the Buddhism and the tradition of the education in India. So Nalanda to pehle se tha, but then Dharampal also established few more universities associated with the Buddhist learning. So these universities are Vikramshila, then Somrup and Udantpur. Okay? So Somrup and Udantpur. So these were also three Buddhist learning centers. Then and later on they also became a kind of a normal, that other learnings also were concluded at these all places. Then so this is one part. And moreover, that Vajrayana Buddhism which emerged in the Nalanda. Now, so emergence of the Vajrayana Buddhism has happened in Nalanda, but then where the maturity of the Vajrayana happened? Birth is in Nalanda and maturity in Tibet. And so maturity in Tibet. There was one guru from the Nalanda University. His name was Guru Padma Sambhav. Then, so it is the Guru Padma Sambhav who has taken this version of the Buddhism to Tibet. Then, and as you know, the Tibet is closer from which area? Kashmir or Bihar? Bihar. Okay. How come? So Bihar, ya Bengal. Going to the Sikkim, from Sikkim, what is the name of the main pass? Nathula. Okay? So from Nathula, he is moving towards, and actually the Tibetan capital is more closer to this part. So he has gone to Lhasa. Then, and in Lhasa also, he tried to popularize the Buddhism. But initially what happened that in Tibet, the people of the Tibet, they answer samajhna that how the Tibet Buddhism has gone over there. So people of the Tibet, they were a little bit averse to this particular thing. Why so? Because they were the worshipper of the nature and they have many such ghostly beliefs. Then, so they had the belief in the spirit and the ghostly things. And in fact, since it is a very cold region and then it's very high, not many people are living over there then, so they were untouched by any kind of intervention from any part of the world. So they have their own different aspects of the religion. So Guru Padma Sambhav, it is said that he made that Buddhism Sambhav in Tibet because he fused the Tibetan culture with the Buddhism. Okay? So the fusion of the Tibetan culture happened with the Buddhism, and that's how altogether new Buddhism emerged over there in the Tibet. So then when he has taken Vajrayana to Tibet, and then the fusion has happened, so it came to be known as Kala Chakrayana. Then, so Kala Chakrayana, and then this is the main version of the Buddhism from the Tibet. Now there are many sects within this Kala Chakrayana, and at the same point of time, Dalai Lama, he belongs to one of the sect of the Kala Chakrayana, and the name of the sect is Gelupa. So though originally, abhi humne Buddhism padha bhi nahi hai, but just because this topic is there, so I just wanted to complete this thing. So originally, Dalai Lama is regarded as the head of the Buddhist community. Originally, he belongs to the Vajrayana Buddhism. Okay? But then, he held command over all the sects of the Buddhism, Mahayana or any other version which is popular, Theravada. So he is regarded as the most important person, most pious person. Then some sort of discussion we'll also do in the Buddhism where we will understand further. I hope you got it then. So likho, mention. Right. So Pal dynasty, it was founded by Gopal in around 750 AD. Around 750 AD. Tell me what was the capital of the Chalukyas? Badami. And what was the capital of the Pallavas? ठीक है, तो हर चीज मुझे बोलना ना पड़े. ऑलरेडी यू गाइस हैव ऑलरेडी रिटन. समवन आस्क्ड दैट व्हाट इज द कैपिटल. लिख लिया है, दिमाग नहीं लगा रहे हो कि क्या लिखा है. So when we mentioned na, that Pallavas of Kanchipuram and the Chalukyas of Badami, it is their capital. Mention further, you write. So Gopal, then you write, Dharampal was the most important ruler, but Dharampal was the most important ruler of this dynasty. Most important ruler of this dynasty. Then from his tenure onwards, Pal rulers started to promote Buddhism. Pal rulers started to promote Buddhism. Full stop. He granted 200 villages. He granted 200 villages to Nalanda University for its maintenance and upkeep. Full stop. He created 3 universities of Buddhist learning. He created 3 universities of Buddhist learning. That is, so mention Vikramshila, Somarup and Udantapuri. Vikramshila, Somarup and Udantapuri. Paragraph change karo and then you write. During the tenure of Pal rulers, birth of Vajrayana Buddhism happened in the area of Nalanda. Then mention it is regarded as the tantric version of Buddhism. Full stop. Then from Nalanda, Vajrayana Buddhism made its traverse. Its traverse to Tibet. Where it matured and developed into Kala Chakra Yana Buddhism. Then Buddhism. Then mention further. So Kala Chakrayan Buddhism. So there is one more ruler about whom we need to mention, but यहाँ पे नहीं. We will talk about him in the mainline Chola dynasty because he was defeated by the mainline Chola or imperial Chola. ठीक है? So now we are keeping our discussion intact to this place only. एक last information बस ये लिख सकते हैं कि that because of the rulers of the Pal dynasty, the Buddhism reached to the Tibet part, and then moreover it has reached to the China further. ठीक है? In fact, many of the parts of the Eastern Asia. So this is also important step in the survival of the Buddhism. ठीक है? So you write, because of the initiative of the Pal rulers, because of the initiative of the Pal rulers, Buddhism spread to many other parts of Asia. Many other parts of Asia. Done? Now let's come to the next one. Mention Pratihar Gurjar. Of West. So Pratihar Gurjar of West. Now understand. So when it comes to Pratihar Gurjar dynasty of the West, so basically which area it will cover? Rajasthan, take Sindh, obviously pura Sindh, going till the Balochistan, so as the Gujarat, then some parts of Gujarat, not entirely. So and basically the Rajasthan that we are talking about, it is the starting from the Thar desert area and going till the Udaipur, South Rajasthan. Okay? So now they came to power, and in fact it is believed that the original founder of this dynasty was actually around 710 to 12. There was a guy whose name was Nag Bhatt. Okay? So he is regarded as the early founder, but then it came to prominence after 750. Okay? So after 750, moreover, as far as the most important ruler of this dynasty is concerned, and so his name is Mihir Bhoj. Then, so Mihir Bhoj, and as far as their capital is concerned, so what was their capital? In the beginning, Avanti, Ujjain was their capital, and later on Kannauj became their capital. We'll talk about it, that how Kannauj became their capital after writing little bit about all the three, and then after. So Kannauj later capital, and the initial capital was Ujjain. Then moreover, so it is the ruler Mihir Bhoj who is regarded as their most important ruler, and moreover when it comes to Mihir Bhoj, so he was the devotee of the Lord Vishnu. Then, and as you know that there are 10 reincarnations of the Lord Vishnu which are mentioned. One of the incarnation is the Varaha avatar. Then, so Varaha avatar, and what is the depiction in the Varaha avatar? Lord Vishnu is depicted, his face is the boar, Varaha, and body is the human. Okay? So boar reincarnation of Lord Vishnu. So now he was devotee of this incarnation, and then he took the title of the Adi Varaha. Then another thing, that it is said that Mihir Bhoj was the one who initiated a unique temple style architecture of the southern Rajasthan. Okay? And this new temple style is known as Maru Gurjar temple. Then, so now later on, जब हम art and culture में, we are in the topic of the architecture, and when we are in the topic of the Nagar style of temple, so this is under the umbrella of the Nagar itself, but then this is the style which gave rise to Solanki temple in Gujarat and Rajasthan. Then, so under the Solanki rulers, it was further developed, but the original beginning was made by Mihir Bhoj. Now understand, what is the meaning of this word Maru and Gurjar? So any idea? Maru stands for Maruasthal. Okay? Yes, good. So Maru stands for the Maruasthal, and Maruasthal is the, as you said, desert. Then, so the attribute of the desert, or important characteristic of the desert, as you must have studied in geography, that the land formations, and you must have seen the sifting sand. Padha formation of many such that sand dunes. Then, and बहुत सारे नाम लिखे हुए हैं तुम्हारे एनसीईआरटी में, बर्चन्स, so different names are there. So this is one thing that today, or basically now 1 o'clock 45 minutes, you see a sand dune over here. By the evening 3 o'clock it is flat, nothing is here. So the problem is with the structure. अब shifting sand में कैसे structure बनाओगे? So major attribute of this style was very deep pillars were created in the temple. So very deep nature pillars were created, and that's why shifting sands must not affect it. Then, so this is what is the attribute of the majority of the temples in the modern times, particularly in this area, starting from the Thar till the Gujarat part. So that is one part. Another thing, that this dynasty, they procured horses from the Central Asia because it is in the western part, it is closer to the Baluchistan, and originally horses are native of which country? Iran. Okay? Horses are believed to be emerged from the Iran. So they procured very good quality horses from the Iran, and that's how out of the 3 dynasties that we are mentioning, they had the strongest army. Then, so mention, you write. Originally this dynasty was founded by Nag-Bhatt. Around 712 AD, 10 to 12 AD, दोनों लिखना, 710 to 12 AD. अच्छा, I just want to add one more part to it. Just wait for it. अभी लिखना नहीं. So this word which is there, originally they are Gurjar. And please don't confuse Gurjar with the Gujjar. Then both are different. Gurjar is related to the Garjana. Then Garjana, you understand? Okay, roaring. And who's Garjana? Singha Garjana. Then, so basically they were the fighter class. And then they used to fight with hell lot of Garjana. So they were called as Gurjar. And obviously they were all the time, they were quite successful in their fighting endeavors. So they were called as Garjana. But then they acquired this title of the Pratihar. Then, so you know what is the meaning of the word Pratihar? Batao? Protector of the doors. Then, so protector of the doors, and actually originally mythologically, okay, so mythologically it is a title which is given to Lord Lakshman. Okay, so title which was given to Lord Lakshman, and who has given to him? Lord Ram. So they also behave like the protector of door. Now I'm connecting the dots which we have not studied. Later on, after completion of this topic, we will be going into the topic of the invasions in India. Then, so invasions in India, which invasion? Islamic invasion. The very first Islamic invasion happened in India in 712 AD, and Muhammad bin Qasim. Then, so Muhammad bin Qasim has defeated the ruler of the Sindh, and then he has captured this area of the Sindh. Then, but then later on, we'll be writing that from the Sindh, Muhammad bin Qasim was expelled by Nag-Bhatt. Okay? He resumed or presumed the role of the protector of the doors of India. Then, so this is the time onwards they have taken the title Pratihar. Once they have expelled Muhammad bin Qasim, okay, there are other stories associated with the Muhammad bin Qasim that we'll be talking about, but then they have taken this title Pratihar. I hope you got it. So mention karo. वैसे ये कहानी नहीं, but just the other part. So what is the last line that you have written? Okay, so Nag-Bhatt. Then mention Mihir Bhoj is regarded as the most powerful ruler of this dynasty. Full stop. He was devotee of Lord Vishnu. And took the title of Adi Varaha. Adi Varaha. Then mention he initiated the construction. He initiated the construction of a new style of temple of the new initiated the construction of the new style of a temple in the desert area known as Maru Gurjar temple. Known as Maru Gurjar temple, which is a substyle within Nagar temple, and noted for large number of in-depth pillars. Full stop. Mihir Bhoj acquired. Mihir Bhoj, full stop के बाद लिखना, Mihir Bhoj acquired large number of horses, good quality horses लिखना, large number of good quality horses from Central Asia and Iran. And went on to create the most powerful army of North India. Done. So this is what is about the Pratihar Gurjar. Then let's come to the next one, Rashtrakoot dynasty. So mention Rashtrakoot dynasty. So Rashtrakoot is in the central India and Deccan. Basically, it is ruling in the area mainly in the Maharashtra and the parts of Karnataka. Okay? So half the Karnataka, entire, you can say 80% Maharashtra, and then also the parts of Madhya Pradesh. So capital in previous one you noted down, na? I told dictate nahi karwaya maine. Avanti and later on Kannauj. Here the capital was Manyakhet. Then, and the present day name of the Manyakhet is Mankhed. Then, so you just write the old name. Now listen. So Rashtrakoot dynasty was founded in 751 by a person whose name was Danti Durg. So it was founded by Danti Durg in 751. Then after, soon after his death, the next ruler was Krishna I. And why we are mentioning it? Because Krishna I was the one who created Kailasnath temple of Ellora. So as you see that this particular part of the history, we are majorly mentioning about the temples. Then, so India is altogether in a different phase, and all over India there is a construction of the large number of temples. Now Kailasnath temple is situated in Ellora. Then, moreover, this, as far as this temple is concerned, so this temple is the first of the monolithic temples of India. So it is a monolithic temple. What does it mean? Created from a single stone, okay, in one go. So created from single stone in one go, and moreover it is in the premise of the Ellora caves then, so part of the Ellora only. This temple is considered as one of the architectural wonder of India, so we'll discuss a little bit about it. Why it is regarded as the architectural wonder of India? When we look at the different type of the rocks in the Indian scenario, then so generally in geography you must have studied that three type of the rocks or soil. So metamorphic, igneous and sedimentary. Okay? So metamorphic, igneous and sedimentary. Then when it comes to this area, so this is the oldest layer of India. In geography you must have heard about Gondwana land. Then so this was the Gondwana land, an oldest part of the India or oldest part of the subcontinent. Then so the nature of the rock would be very stable and the rock would be very hard. So rock would be very hard. So the first problem in this area is that how to chisel that rock or cut that rock, which is very hard, not easy to not easy for the cutting purpose. That is one difficulty. Another difficulty or another unique thing about it, this temple was completed in a rapid pace of time. Okay? It is said that it was just completed in 9 to 11 years. So as per the details of that time, and moreover, in the modern times, in 2000s, then, so we live in the modern age where everything can be estimated. So large number of the people from the western part of the world, or basically the people who are the documentary creators, those who have the team of the team of the archaeologists, historians, and then also engineers, then they made a calculation of this particular place, and people were there from the Europe also, UK also, US also. All the people, they were convinced that it is impossible to create such a big structure within the span of 8 to 9 years when there is no modern bombardment technology. So they maintained, all these documentaries, they have maintained that if we go by the modern technology, so this temple must have taken more than 20 years for the completion. Then, so use of the modern such thing, but it is always a surprise that how it was created in a rapid pace of time. Then another difficulty, the temple was created from top to bottom. And so पहले ऊपर से बनना start हुआ था, and then the downside. Another thing, that the remains or basically the cut part of the premise, it hasn't been found from anywhere. Then so जो भी rocks remove किया था, it hasn't been found anywhere. In fact, the British people, they made hell lot of research. They tried to find it out in the Indian Ocean, Arabian Sea, कहीं पे नहीं मिला. In fact, in the search of the stone of this particular Kailasnath temple, what they found, the pillars of the Dwarka city. Okay? So they were trying to find out this, they found the pillars of the Dwarka city, which is very deeper in at that particular place. Then, so a new discovery happened. So that is still a mystery. In fact, is temple mein there is a pillar. Okay? That pillar, so what you do, that if you take a cloth, okay, and then put it inside, दूसरे side से वो निकल जाएगा. That is a hanging pillar. Then, and nobody is able to destroy it. In fact, there was a time when Aurangzeb also tried to cut that pillar, but he was not able to do it. And it is still hanging, and then there is nothing beneath that particular pillar. Then, so there are many such unique aspects in the temple, and that's why it is called as one of the architectural wonder of India. Moreover, इसकी एक और कहानी है. So Krishna, why he created this temple? He created this temple on the request of his wife, the queen. So queen was the devotee of the Lord Shiva and the goddess Parvati, and it is said that one fine day that she has actually seen the temple in her dream. She is instructed by the goddess Parvati to follow the same. Morning she was actually sketching the temple. She sketched the temple exactly, and in exact same sketch the temple was created, the way queen has sketched it. And so mentioned, you're right. It was founded by Danti Durg. It was founded by Danti Durg in 751 AD. In 751 AD. And करण कपूर है, डिफरेंस बिटवीन गुर्जर एंड गुज्जर. देखो इतना आएगा तो भारत सरकार मुझे यहाँ नहीं रखेगी. मैं खुद ही आर्कियोलॉजिकल सर्वे ऑफ इंडिया में रहूंगा, ट्राइबल सर्वे ऑफ इंडिया में रहूंगा. ठीक है. So आगे लिखो mention. So Danti Durg in 751. Then you write the next ruler Krishnavan. The next ruler Krishnavan is noted for creation of one of the architectural wonder of India, one of the architectural wonder of India, Kailas Nath temple. One of the architectural wonder of India, Kailas Nath temple. Then it is a monolith temple. It is a monolith temple constructed with top to down approach. Constructed with top to down approach. Top to down approach. Then mention after it. Have I discussed anything? Temple ke beyond. चलो, so let's come to the most important ruler. Capital लिख लिया ना, मान्य खेत. चलो, so Amogh Vars was the most important ruler of this dynasty. Listen, so Amogh Vars is the most important ruler of this dynasty, and moreover, that from here that his time onwards, there is a different phase, the phase of the promotion of the Kannada literature, and so as the Jainism. Okay. So first of all, as far as the Kannada literature is concerned, he is the one who is regarded as the first poet of the Kannada literature, and his composition Kaviraj Marg is considered as the first poem in the Kannada language. Okay? So he authored this poem Kaviraj Marg. Moreover, he started patronizing the Kannada language. Now, apart from it, he accepted Jainism, and it is said that he happens to be the second monarch of India. Second monarch of India who died in typical Jain fashion. And what is that? Salekhana. So Pehla, very first was the Chandragupta Maurya, and he is the second mentioned. You're right. Amogh Vars is regarded as the most important ruler of this dynasty. Then mention most important ruler of this dynasty, full stop. During his time, Kannada language and literature was promoted. Kannada literature and language was promoted. He wrote Kaviraj Marg. He wrote Kaviraj Marg, which is regarded as the first poem in Kannada language. Which is regarded as the first poem in Kannada language. Then Kannada language. आगे लिखो, mention. He was also the follower of Jainism. And died in typical Jain fashion. By observing Salekhana. Then, so that's it. This is about the Three dynasty, but now listen. All the three dynasties, as far as their rule is concerned, just give me 1 minute. So now I'm just drawing that their influence areas. So as far as the Pal dynasty is concerned, so their regime, it starts from here and goes till here. Then Pratihar Gurjar. This is Pratihar Gurjar. Then and fine. This is Rashtrakoot. So mention Rashtrakoot. Pratihar Gujjar. And the last one, Pal. And then comes this area. This is Kannauj. सब कुछ दिल्ली नहीं होता है. आज का इतिहास कल के इतिहास पे चिपका दोगे तो दिल्ली होगा. ठीक है. So now why we have created Kannauj? Kannauj is not just the today city, it is the area of the influence. Then, so now all the three dynasties, they were fighting to establish their control on Kannauj. Okay? This is what is called as the tripartite struggle for Kannauj. The importance of Kannauj has started to increase from the time of the Guptas. After the demise of the Guptas, it emerged as the most important industrial center, and at the same point of time that it is on the banks of river Ganga. Then, so that itself provides one such unique aspect. In fact, it is said that the most fragrant land in the entire Indian subcontinent is the Kannauj. Then, fragrant, you understand? So, in fact, that tradition has even been preserved till this point of time. In what ways? It is one of the most important perfume production center of India, and the unique perfumes which has the GI tag. Then, so what is that unique perfume? Which one? Fragrance name. क्या कौन सी ऐसी खुशबू है जो यूनिक है पूरे वर्ल्ड में कन्नौज से? रोज वाटर, सॉइल, मिट्टी की खुशबू. हिंदी में बोलो, ठीक है? हाँ, so बारिश की मिट्टी की खुशबू, that is most unique aspect of it. Then as far as the rose is concerned, as you said, so Belgian rose are the most famous in the world. Then not Indian rose. Then so So anyways, so let's come to this part. So this is one such thing which is famous. So actually this entire land was famous something for some industrial production or some unique aspect. Now in this series, I will ask a question which is not at all related to this, just a general knowledge. रामपुर किस लिए फेमस है? फॉर रामपुर छुरी, ठीक है, रामपुरी छुरी बोलते हैं. But actually Rampur is that this has become popular because of the GI tag of the Rampuri छुरी, ठीक है. But then ऐसे तो अलीगढ़ भी बस ताले के लिए जाना जाता है ना. So actually the most famous thing about the Rampur is हलवा, ठीक है. वहां किसी भी चीज का हलवा बना देते हैं. I'm not joking. Reality is that Rampur is famous for any cheese, मतलब any halwa they can create, and the most famous unique halwa of the Rampur is घास का हलवा. अभी सर्च करना ब्रेक में और देखो, ठीक है. So so घास का हलवा, ठीक है. लालू जी वहीं से खा के आए थे, फिर उसके बाद चारा ले लिया. So लिखो last line. After creating the map, you write mention. So all the three dynasties were known for the tripartite struggle to control Kannauj. In which finally, so who was victorious? Pratihar Gurjar. Already you have written their capital, okay? In which finally Pratihar Gurjar were victorious. In which finally Pratihar Gurjar were victorious. So two interesting questions are there. I would just try to reply. So which language they were using before Kannada? ये तो बाद में बताऊंगा, पहले सूर्य प्रताप सिंह का क्वेश्चन बताऊंगा. Why Amog words promoted Kannada? So इसलिए कि वहां पे भोजपुरी नहीं बोली जाती थी. अगर जो भोजपुरी होता तो he would have promoted. Then क्या सवाल पूछा है? Hats off to you. So now let's come to the next one. So after this particular part, so now we are into the once again in South, and the last dynasty from the early medieval or the late ancient, ठीक है? Imperial Chola dynasty. Write a title. Imperial Chola dynasty. Then, so Imperial Chola dynasty. Now they were the branch of the Cholas itself, okay? And they started after the demise of the early Chola dynasty. They started serving as the courtiers in the different kingdoms, and in fact, whose courtier? Pallavas courtier. So they became the courtiers of the Pallavas. Then what happened? It is in 890 that Vijayalaya Chola. Then, so Vijayalaya Chola, he killed the last Pallava ruler and he founded this dynasty once again. But then the biggest adversaries of this new imperial Chola is the Chalukyas. So Chalukyas, two branches are there. One is the Eastern Chalukya and the Western Chalukya, which are a kind of a threat to them. Okay? So as Rashtrakutas are still surviving till this point of time. So Rashtrakutas were also a challenge. Then in this series, what happened? That one of the initial ruler of this dynasty was Aditya I. Then, so Aditya I, what he did, that he performed a matrimonial alliance with the Eastern Chalukya. Then, so now there was a comfort over here, and he defeated Rashtrakutas. Okay? So he defeated Rashtrakutas, but then still a Western Chalukya is a challenge. Then comes the ruler Parantak I. Then, so Parantak I, he defeated Western Chalukya. Then, so now slowly their empire is increasing their length and breadth. But the most important ruler of the imperial Chola dynasty was, so any idea? Raj Raja Chola. Okay? So Raj Raja Chola and his son Rajendra Chola. So Rajendra I Chola. Now they all carry the legacy of the Aditya Karikalan. Okay? Who is Aditya Karikalan? Any idea? The Chola ruler which we mentioned, then he was the most celebrated Chola ruler in the early Chola period. You remember Karikala we have mentioned? So they call him Aditya Karikalan. And moreover, so during the Raj Raja Chola, what has happened? So Raj Raja Chola, he defeated Pandyas, then he defeated Cheras. So some part of their area has been annexed, and when it comes to Sri Lanka, so he is the one who has conquered the northern Sri Lanka. What we call today is Jaffna. So that is the northern Sri Lanka, north and then eastern Sri Lanka. So this is the part he captured. Then moreover, it is the Raj Raja Chola who laid the foundation of another architectural wonder of India and the biggest temple of India, which was created at that time. That was Brihadeshwar temple. Brihadeshwar temple, which area? Tanjore. Then, so Brihadeshwar temple of Tanjore. And this particular temple is regarded as the climax of the Dravida style of temple. So it is also the part of the UNESCO heritage structure. In 1011 AD, he laid the foundation. And moreover, when this temple completed 1000 year, तो फिर mains exam में the question was asked on this particular temple in 2013. Then, so this is one part. Then the most important ruler or victorious or triumphant ruler was his son Rajendra I. And Rajendra I completely defeated Pandyas, completely defeated Cheras, and completely captured Sri Lanka. So now the most powerful dynasty of southern India has emerged under Rajendra Chola. We'll talk about him further, his campaigns in the Malaysia. So you write, mention. In 890, Vijayalaya Chola, just give me 1 minute. In 890, Vijayalaya Chola captured the power from Pallavas, and re-established Cholas. With their capital at Tanjore. Then Aditya I. So we are writing about some of the rulers. Aditya I was the initial important ruler. Aditya I was the initial important ruler who expanded the kingdom through matrimonial alliance with Eastern Chalukya. Who expanded the kingdom through matrimonial alliance with Eastern Chalukyas. Then mention. Next ruler, Parantak I further defeated Rashtrakutas, and expanded the kingdom. Then mention. Paragraph change karo. Raj Raja Chola and his son Rajendra Chola. Rajendra Chola are regarded as the most powerful Chola rulers. Regarded as the most powerful Chola rulers. Then you mention Rajaraja I defeated Pandyas and Cheras, and captured some of their territory. Then mention after it some of their territory, full stop. He also captured northeastern part of Sri Lanka. Then mention in 1011 AD. He laid the foundation of Brihadeshwar temple at Tanjore. Which is regarded as one of the architectural wonder of India. Full stop. It is also believed to be the climax of Dravid style of temple. I'll tell you something about this particular temple. बाद में भी पढ़ेंगे, but just listen. Why it is called as architectural wonder? It was the largest temple of India created till this date. Then, and moreover, what are the dimensions of the temple? So basically, as far as the tower of the temple is concerned, then it was 68 meter high. Then, so tower of the temple, the height was 68 meter. Then moreover, when we look at this particular temple, so the unique attraction of this temple is the stone piece which has been kept at the top of the temple. Then just give me a minute. So there has been that there is a big stone which is kept over here, and in the temple architecture we call it cupola, and when we'll be reading later on. So the weight of this temple, so this entire height is 68 meter, and then this is 88 ton. And so 88 ton is the height, the weight of this particular stone. It's a separate stone. Another thing that I think ab to sabne padh liya hai. So what is unique about the Indian temple architecture? That one unique aspect about all the temples which were created in the ancient times, and for example, that recently when the inauguration has happened and the temple related discussions are there. So what is the unique aspect which is carrying the legacy of the old Indian style temples? What is it? किसी भी नए जमाने का भी टेम्पल बनाओगे, नए टेक्निक से भी बनाओगे तो सब कुछ होगा. I'll tell you one thing. Indian temples don't use cementing agent. That's it. ठीक है? They don't use cementing agent. Stones को चिपकाया नहीं जाता है. ठीक है? That is one unique aspect. So the Ram temple which has been created, it is also without any cementing agent. That's the one of the most important linkage between the ancient temples of India and even the modern temples of India. ठीक है, बाकी चीजें भूल जाओ, गर्भगृह वो तो होगा ही, ठीक है, चाहे भी किसी भी एज का टेम्पल हो. सो नाउ दिस टेम्पल इज वन ऑफ द मैनिफेस्टेशन ऑफ इट, दैट सच अ बिग टेम्पल. And then nowhere in the construction of this temple any cementing agent is used. So what is used? How it is created? So they use puzzle technique for construction. And the same technique is used in the Ram temple also. So puzzle technique, and what is this puzzle technique? Interlocking of the stones. Then, so interlocking of the stones. Then, so stones are cut in such a manner कि वो एक दूसरे से अटैच हो जाते हैं, ठीक है. So एक दूसरे से अटैच हो जाते हैं, चिपकाए नहीं जाते हैं, ठीक है. So you understand, there is meaning of each and every word, that they are not pasted, they are attached. Then, so that is one part. Another thing, another such theory about this particular temple, or basically one such mystery about the temple, how this particular stone was transported to the top. So as per their records, they say that they created ramps from both the sides of the temple. Okay? So दोनों side से big ramps were created, and elephants were carrying the stone to the top. They have carried the stone to the top, and they have descended from the other side. So this is how. So it took hell lot of technique and technology to create this temple, and the time is testimony to this temple, that it is still standing without any such big that damage to this temple, or any big chodo. Even it is very much resilient to the earthquake. So this technology, puzzle technique, is more resilient to the earthquake than cementing. Cementing creates crack, attachment does not create the crack. Likho, mention. So what do you have written? What is the last line? He created. Okay. So now his part is complete. Then, now listen. So next part is his son Rajendra Chola came to power, and as we mentioned, he completely defeated Chera, Pandyas, and the Sri Lanka. He has captured. Now he has led a campaign to the northern India. So for the very first time, a dynasty from the southern India will be defeating a northern dynasty. So he crossed the river Ganga, and he reached to the Gangetic Delta, where he defeated the Pal ruler Mahipal. Then, so Mahipal was defeated, but then, unusual to the expectation of that time, he did not annex the Pal dynasty into the southern kingdom. He returned back, and to celebrate this victory, he did two things: one title and creation of one city. So he took the title of the Gangai Kond Chola, Gangai Kondi. Okay? So Gangai Kondi means that victor of the Ganga Delta. Then second he did that he created this city Gangai Kond Cholapuram on the banks of river Kaveri. Then, and he also created a temple with the name of the Gangai Kond Cholapuram. Then, so mention, you write. Next ruler, Rajendra first. Next ruler, Rajendra first. Completely defeated Chera and Pandyas. And one more information who has written, Rohit. So iron is not used. You will be reading that when iron was introduced in architecture. Then, so iron was also not used in any of the Hindu temples in those times. Then, now also that majority of the temples, they follow the technique that they don't use the iron. In fact, when it comes to the use of the iron in the Indian scenario, architecture में वैसे मैं पढ़ाने वाला था, लेकिन अब तुम पूछ रहे हो तो then it was introduced by the British only when they have brought this particular technique of the that Indo-Gothic style of architecture. So they introduced iron and steel in India in the construction part. Construction में पहले use नहीं होता था. So mention, you write. What you have written? He completely defeated Chera and Pandyas, and completely annexed Sri Lanka. Completely annexed Sri Lanka. Then mention after it Sri Lanka, full stop. Perhaps he was the first ruler from the southern India. Perhaps he was the first ruler from southern India who went to Gangetic Delta, who marched to Gangetic Delta and defeated Pal ruler Mahipal. Then mention further. What you have written, Parantak 1 में क्या लिखा है? He defeated. हाँ ठीक है, correct information है. Someone has asked this question, so whatever you have written that is right. Rashtrakoot only he defeated. फिर आगे लिखो इसमें Mahipal, but he did not annexed Pal area and returned back. He did not annexed Pal area and returned back. Full stop. Then mention returned back, full stop. To celebrate this victory, he took the title of Gangai Kondi. He took the title of Gangai Kondi. And he created a new city on the banks of Kaveri River. New city on the banks of Kaveri River, Gangai Kond Cholapuram, to celebrate this victory. Then with the same name, he also created a temple. Done. Now let's look at the other things associated with him. So he also happened to be the first Indian ruler who is crossing Bay of Bengal and then attacking on the cities of the Sri Vijay. Sri Vijay was the name of the kingdom which existed in the Malay Peninsula. So when we say Malay Peninsula, what it includes? Today's Malaysia, Singapore, and so as the Indonesia. Then so Bali wala part, till the Bali, Java and Sumatra. So he attacked on the cities of Sri Vijay, defeated them. But then this attack of the Rajendra Chola has led to the increased cultural exchange between India and these all countries. Then, so in fact, if we look at today's population of Singapore and Malaysia, so in Singapore and Malaysia, there are large number of Indians. Then Singapore's near about 38% of the population is the Indian origin population. Chinese are also there. But then Indian origin people are also there. In fact, their prime minister is the Indian origin prime minister. I hope you know right now. Then in Malaysia also, there are good number of the people who are of Tamil origin. So in fact, 18 to 19% population has origin based in India. So this is attributed to the time of the Rajendra Chola. Then apart from it, from these area, from Malay Peninsula, the cultural exchange further went into the Cambodia. And that's how it led to the development of the Indian culture in the Cambodia. There was a ruler in Cambodia who in Indian text he is mentioned as Suryavarman. Unke text mein kuch aur naam hoga. But in Indian text he is mentioned as Suryavarman, and he founded not one of the biggest temple of the world, and that is the Angkor Wat. So Initially, that temple was dedicated to Lord Vishnu, but later on, when the Buddhism started to spread in this region, so Angkor Wat was converted to the Buddhist temple. So still, even till this point of time, it is the largest temple in the world. But the problem with the Angkor Wat temple is, it is non-functional. You understand what is non-functional? बताओ. कोई पूजा नहीं होता है. No such worship takes place at that particular premise. Then, so because of the conversion, and there is one more, that if you read, when you read the world history and the genocide in the human history, so this is the temple where the huge genocide happened by the Khmer regime. Then, so Khmer, ruler of the Cambodia, he has slaughtered large population over there. Then, so anyways, that is another aspect of the history. So it led to the cultural exchange between these areas. And after Rajendra I, whoever followed, they were not that strong. And in 1279, that this dynasty came to a complete end. So mention, you're right. So what is the last thing that you have written? About his this victory in the Gangetic Delta. अब फिर से paragraph change करो. Rajendra I was perhaps the first Indian ruler. Rajendra I was perhaps the first Indian ruler who crossed Bay of Bengal and attacked on the cities of Sri Vijay. Attacked on the cities of Sri Vijay of Malay Peninsula. Of Malay Peninsula. Then mention further after it. This invasion led to increased cultural exchange. Between India. And Malay Peninsula. Then, so this is one aspect of this dynasty. Let's have a look at their one more part. These Chola rulers of this particular time, they are also known for their administration, and in fact the decentralized administration. Then, so it's a unique example in the Indian history where the decentralization of power was ensured by the kings only. Otherwise we don't see any other example. So let's understand. So Chola kingdom, there are some unique attributes. First of all, they divided their kingdom into many subdivisions. Then, so these subdivisions, generally the provinces were called as Mandalam. Then after the Mandalam were the that Valanadu, then Nadu, then Kottam, Kuttir, and then the Ur. So these were the divisions in it, and in all the divisions, whoever was appointed as the in charge or the officer, they were given in that good amount of the autonomy and the power to rule. So it's not like that there is always a centralization, that whatever decisions they are taking, that could be a final at the state level itself, at the district level itself. Then, so this is one part. Then another thing, that as we have seen that they were big temple builders, and in fact there was a temple run at the time of the imperial Cholas. So what do I mean by temple run? That many places temples were getting created, but they maintained one character with the temple, that temples must be created closer to the habitations. Then why temples were created closer to the habitation? Because they were a people who believed more in economy and enterprise. Then, and in fact Cholas were the first people or first monarchs of India who started to function as the a banking institution or financial institution. Earlier, whoever we have seen in the history, none of the rulers, they provided loan on the interest, but Cholas were the first who provided loan on cheaper interest. Now I'm coming back to temples. So temples were not just the place of the religious worship, but they were also the place of education. And moreover, closer to the temples, big markets were developed. Then, so they understood the psychological behavior of the humanity, that people, first of all, big temples, grand temples, people will be in the awe of the temple. They are going to the temple for worship. When they are returning back, market is there. Even if they don't want to buy, they will buy something. Okay? So basically, they promoted economy in this way, and temple was economic centers also. In fact, this tradition continued in the later times also. So when we look at the South Indian temples, particularly what happens, it looks like a town in itself. So anyone who has been Madurai Meenakshi temple? Anyone in this class? Oh, just one person, two people, three people. Take it. So that itself is a town, you see. So that's itself is a town. I'll tell you. There is a one temple whose name is the Sri Ranganath Swami temple. Okay? So Sri Ranganath Swami temple in the Sri Rangam in Tamil Nadu. The temple's premise, the perimeter of the temple itself is a 7 kilometer. Okay? Itself is a 7 kilometer. There are 3 layers in the Sri Rangam temple, and there are houses, there are shopkeepers, and there is everything inside the temple. So लोगों को वहां से जाने की, बाहर जाने की भी जरूरत नहीं होती है. So this tradition started to develop from the time of the Chola rulers only. So mention, you're right. So heading लिखो, important aspects of Chola rule. Important aspects of Chola rule. Then फिर से basically in imperial Chola there are so many times we use the word perhaps. ठीक है, यहाँ पे भी ये start करो. Perhaps they were the first rulers of India. Perhaps they were the first rulers of India who functioned as banking and financial institution. Banking and financial institution. Then moreover, they are also known for their decentralized rule. They are also known for their decentralized rule. Then centralized rule. They divided their kingdom into many subdivisions, which is as follows. Right. Chola Mandalam or Tondai Mandalam. Then Mandalam is the province. Valanadu districts. Blocks. Village. And Ur is the smallest administrative division. administrative division. So first one, Chola Mandalam is Chola Empire, which is also called as Tondai Mandalam. Then comes the Mandalam. So Mandalam we are calling as a province is Mandalam, district are Valanadu, Nadu are the blocks, village is Kottam, and smallest administrative division is Ur. Then, so what is Tamil Nadu? The land where the Tamil is spoken. That is Tamil Nadu. Got it? Then mention. आगे लिखो. They patronized construction of temples. They patronized construction of temples in the many parts of Tamilakam or Tamil land, you write. In the many parts of Tamil land. And mention. Temples were not only the place of worship. Temples were not only the place of worship, but also the center of education. Temples were not only the place of worship, but also the center of education and economic activity. Then, and one last thing about the Cholas that we need to mention. So they also happen to be one of the initial rulers of India who understood the importance of the rainwater harvesting, and then related to it they started writing the inscriptions also. So you mentioned they are also one of the foremost rulers of India. They are also one of the foremost rulers of India. Who understood the importance of rainwater harvesting and wrote many inscriptions on rainwater harvesting. Then, so this is what is about this particular part. Okay. So ancient we have seen. We will start with the Islamic invasions in soon, just after the break. So, एक last question है. Just listen 1 minute. We mentioned over here that they were acting as a banking and financial institution. So does it mean that banking and financial activity were not prevalent in the previous time? Was it there or not? It was there. Obviously it must be there. Then no तो हो ही नहीं सकता, ठीक है? So who were acting as a banking and financial institution? बताओ. श्रेणीज, exactly. Have we written it part? कहीं मेंशन तो किया है मुझे लग रहा है किसी क्लास में. Not in your batch. So here only we'll write. Just listen. So अच्छा एक और चीज मुझे बताओ. Just wait 1 minute. So the formal coinage system of India, when it started, formal coins, Indus Valley, is it a formal coin? We don't have idea. हो सकता है होगा that the seals were the coins, but we don't have idea because we don't have any evidence of it, written evidence, and then the script hasn't been deciphered. Then so we can't say that Indus Valley seals were the initial coinage. We just make some sort of that probability about it. Then so some sort of inference we draw about it. But the first formal coinage of India was in the age of the Buddha, in the 6th century BC, and this is called as the Panch-marked coin. Okay? And the first metal which was used for creating the coins in India was silver. Okay? So silver punch-marked coins were the first coins of India in the 6th century BC at the time of the Buddha, and that is also the time when the emergence of the Shrenis have happened. Then so What are the Shrenis? Shrenis are the initial banking and financial institution. Not only they are banking and financial institution, but they also controlled the rules of the trade. So for example, in the modern days, we have a ministry. We have international bodies also who control the rules of the trade. So WTO, ठीक है? ITO नहीं होता है. So WTO के अलावा और क्या है? IMF. But IMF doesn't control. WTO and there is one more. GATT something. What is it? GATT. ठीक है. हाँ. पता मुझे सब होता है, मैं वैसे ही नाटक करता हूँ. So I just checked. So now there are many organizations which control the rule of the trade, but these were the time that the rule of the trades were defined by the Shrenis. Then, so they were not only acting as a financial institution, then banking institution, they were the one who were providing the loan, and not only to the people but also to the kings. Then, so for example, in modern Indian history, you have read about the Jagat Seths. Then, so they are one of the initial Shrenis only. Okay. Now the heads of these Shrenis were called as Jesthak. Okay. So they were either called as Jesthak or Shreshthak. Okay. So Shreshthak, and they were the one who were formulating the rules of the trade. एक बार लिखो, note लिखो, and in note you write, mention. In the ancient times, Shrenis were, the banking and financial institution. Banking and financial institution. Then mention. They also formulated the rules of trade, and controlled it. They also formulated the rules of trade and controlled it. Shrenis were headed by either Jesthak or Shreshthak. Then Jesthak or Shreshthak. And then paragraph change करके लिखो, since you haven't written earlier. In the 6th century BC, the first coin of India was released. In the Mahajanpad age. That was punch-marked silver coins. Punch-marked silver coins. Done? Done. Take break. So we'll start with the Islamic invasions in India. So mention the title Islamic invasions. So there are 3 invasions that we need to see, and the first one, so number 1, you write invasion of Muhammad bin Qasim. Muhammad bin Qasim. So listen, that when it comes to Muhammad bin Qasim, so he originally was from Saudi Arabia. Wait 1 minute. Just give me a time. The reason that we need to know that why he came to India. Listen. So he was originally the ruler of Saudi Arabia, and the dynasty to which he was belonging was known as Umayyad. Then, so Umayyad, and this is the story of the 712. So it is just a century after the emergence of the Islam, second century of Islam, you can say. And soon after the emergence of the Islam, there are many such sectarian divisions which started to emerge. Then, so there is a stronghold of the Islam, that is Turkey. And then another stronghold, which is the birthplace of the Islam, was Saudi Arabia itself. So Caliphate in the Turkey used to be very strong in those times. He did not share a good relation with the Caliphate. And so Caliphate was anti to the Muhammad bin Qasim, because his father-in-law has fought many battles with the Caliphate. Then now this is story you keep in the back and then understand. So Arabs have the trade relations in the Indian Ocean, and moreover, as per the story, that there is one ship which is going from Sri Lanka. Then the Sri Lankan ruler, Sri Perendur, he has sent some gift to the Muhammad bin Qasim. And when this gift is going to Saudi Arabia, so it is said that it was looted at this particular place by the pirates. And over here, there is a port. Name of the port is Deval. And so Deval port, which is today's Karachi. And the ruler of the Deval or the Sindh area in those time was Raja Dahir. Then, so Raja Dahir, and as per the stories which are there, he was a Brahmin ruler of this area who has migrated from the north and the eastern part of India. Then, so now, Umayyad ruler Muhammad bin Qasim took an offense that his ship has been looted by the people of the Dahir, and that's how he found a reason to attack on the Sindh. He attacked on the Sindh to take this particular revenge. He killed Raja Dahir, and then after his head was sent to the other people. Then, so it was the first such instance of the beheading that in Indian case. Moreover, in this incident, there are many other subplots also. So for example, that Muhammad bin Qasim wanted to improve his relations with the Caliphate. Then, so he did not want to continue with that bad relations with the Caliphate. So what he did, that the queens of the Raja Dahir, they committed sati, and some of them were captured, but actually the two daughters of the Raja Dahir, they were captured as per one element of the story. So these two daughters, they were captured, and he thought that if he sent these two daughters as a gift to the Caliphate, so it may improve the relation between the two kingdoms, the Caliphate and the Umayyad of the Saudi Arabia. But then what happened? So these daughters were also seething with the revenge. They wanted to take the revenge with the Muhammad bin Qasim. And as such, when they were sent to the Caliphate, so then these two daughters of the Dahir, they revealed that they were actually adulterated by the Muhammad bin Qasim and his army, and on many levels, and then they were sent as a gift to you. Okay? So he is not sending an unadulterated gift, but adulterated gift. I hope you understand the meaning of these words. Then, so now, Caliphate has taken an offense in it, and soon it was ordered that Muhammad bin Qasim must be brought to their court, dead or alive. As such, Muhammad bin Qasim was captured. He was sewn in a leather bag. Then, I'll tell you, okay? Sewn in a leather bag mein sil diya, and then after he was carried to the Caliphate. The moment he reached, he was dead. Then, so this is what is the entire story. But then, even for a year or so, his rule was there then in the Sindh area, or his people were there in the Sindh area. This is the first arrival of the Islam in this part of the country. At the same point of time, when his death has happened, so there were many other Arab traders or Arab commanders of this Umayyad dynasty. Their names are Tamim and Junaid. They were stationed over here, and Tamim and Junaid were the one who were expelled by whom? Nagabhat first. Okay? अभी थोड़ी देर पहले लिखा था. So Nagabhat first. Who was he? Pratihar Gujjar founder. And that's how the Pratihar Gujjars have further expanded in the regime of the Raja Dahir. I hope you got it. Then, so this is the first instance. So इसमें देखो that success hasn't happened then from the side of the Muhammad bin Qasim, but then this was the first beginning. Then, so first beginning and first such initiative by him to establish the rule in the Indian subcontinent, though he was not completely successful. So mention, not all the story you need to write, but then the little bit of part of it. So you mentioned that in 712 AD, a ship of Muhammad bin Qasim of Saudi Arabia, was looted closer to the Deval port of Sindh. Looted closer to the Deval port of Sindh. Deval port of Sindh. Then mention, to take the revenge, Qasim attacked on Sindh. To take the revenge, Qasim attacked on Sindh, which led to the successive fight with the ruler of Sindh, Dahir. Then mention, Raja Dahir was killed. And it led to the establishment of rule of Umayyad dynasty. It's all written on board, you can see, in Sindh. Full stop. But in the turn of events, Muhammad bin Qasim was killed by the Caliphate. And his generals and commanders were expelled from India by Pratihar Gurjaras. Done? So this is the first story. Then now the second one is basically the most ferocious attack on the Indian subcontinent. Then, so just mention invasion of Mahmud of Ghazni. Then, and when it started, so it is starting from 985 and there will be 1025. So 985 to 1025, because he invaded India many a times. First of all, who was he and how he has come to the prominence. So now listen, wait. So Western Asia, it includes the Central Asia also, and not Western Asia, Central Asia and Western Asia and the Middle East, these three parts. There was one very strong dynasty which was established from Levant region to Iran. What is Levant? Syria, okay, Lebanon, then so Syria, Lebanon, Jordan. So that is Levant, and from Levant till including Iraq and Iran. So there was this dynasty, the name of the dynasty was the Samanid. Then, so Samanid dynasty in this particular timeline, 1000, so 985, it was ruled by the Mahmud of Ghazni. Then at this point of time, there was a volatile situation in the West Asia. And what is this volatile situation? Central Asian were not the followers of the Islam. Okay? So Central Asian, who all are Kyrgyz, Kazakh, Turk, Uzbek, then and Tajik. So they were not the followers of any religion actually. They were the followers of the nature. They used to worship the different elements of the nature. Now they have started the invasion of the Samanid area. And they were constantly attacking the Samanid area. Now there was a challenge before the Samanid that first of all to fight with these Central Asians and at the same point of time to popularize Islam. So in this particular endeavor, Mahmud of Ghazni was very successful. He was able to convince the Central Asians to convert the Islam. Then, and in this regard, there was the role of the one book Shahnama, which was written by Firdausi. Then, so these played a role in conversion of their religion into Islam. But at the other hand, he also needed, or he also wanted to get huge resources for his kingdom, and then no other region better than the India could be rescued for it. Then he knows about that India is a land of hell lot of gold. India is having hell lot of resources and the wealth. In fact, the temples of India in those time, it was popularized that having hell lot of gold and the huge wealth resources. So now what happened? He started the invasion of the India from 985, and 17 times he invaded India. So his major target were the major temples of India, looting the wealth from India and temples from India, then destroying the temples, doing the sacrilege. So these all was part of it. So not only he was destroying these all, but he was also performing some of the august act, then one of the most brutal and the heinous thing. So not only brutally he was killing the people, but he was also sexually all kind of mistreatments were given to the children and so as to the women. Then in fact large number of the women were taken from the both entire Indian subcontinent, which includes the India, Pakistan both. So large number of the women were taken from here and they were sold in the markets over there. So he may be a cultural regenerator in the Western Asia, but in Indian history he was a plunderer, and he has performed one of the worst crimes of the humanity. For that we will never forgive him. Okay? And we have never forgotten and forgiven him the crime that he performed. In fact, his last attack was on the temple of Somnath, and then as per the story that you'll be reading over there in the art and culture, that how this temple was founded. So it has a legacy with the Somnath, who is Som Chandrama. And then also legacy is also associated with the Lord Krishna, and so as the Solanki rulers of the Gujarat who were there at this point of time. So now what has happened, that when he has entered into the temple, so what he has did, that not only destroyed, he looted, but then there was a group of the priests who were actually not protesting, they were requesting to him that he can loot everything, he can destroy the temple also, but just not do any sacrilege to the particular the Sivalinga which is there, which is considered as one of the Jyotirling. But then he did not listen to it and he did perform the sacrilege. But before that, so I'm telling you one of the thing which is mentioned in the Dharma Shastras, or basically the basic code of conduct in the Hinduism. So Dharma Shastra says that you all studied अभी 2 दिन के पहले सबको पता चला कि what is प्राण प्रतिष्ठा, ठीक है? अगर यही पूछा होता 2 साल पहले तो majority of you must not be knowing that what is प्राण प्रतिष्ठा. So it is infusion of the life in a stone. Then so प्राण प्रतिष्ठा, so it means that if a life can be infused in a stone, so it can be taken away also. Then and the taken away process is called as visarjan. Okay? So prana visarjan, prana pratishtha and prana visarjan. You know how prana visarjan happens? बताओ? नहीं, बिल्कुल मंत्र के द्वारा नहीं. Kill somebody on the feet of the particular stone. The prana visarjan happens. If anybody dies on that particular feet of the or body of that stone, so the prana with his prana, the other prana, the God's prana also visarjit. Then so this is so this is what he did. The head priest of the Somnath, he knew it this thing, okay? So he said that you can take this Sivlinga wherever you want, and what you do that you just kill me on it. So he used his sword and he cut his head on the Sivlinga itself. So as per the Hindu process, the pran was visarjit, he can take it anyway. But then this actually became one of the major stories of, not just the stories of the time, but the event which led to the consolidation of many of the processes of the society. And there was a huge fervor even at the time of the independence and everything, that at least once again there must be the Pran Pratishtha of the Somnath. So actually this was the question, मैं नहीं बता रहा हूँ, this was the question which was asked 2-3 years back, ठीक है, in the prelims paper. So you just see the prelims paper and it was asked about that who did the Prana Pratishtha. So at that point of time, the President of India, Rajendra Prasad, was there, who was involved in the Prana Pratishtha, okay, of the Somnath. Okay? So now you write, mention. So, likho. Mahmud of Ghajni was the ruler of Samanid area in the West Asia. Samanid area in the West Asia. Full stop. In the 10th century AD, a volatile situation arised in West Asia. Volatile situation arised in West Asia, that is it was constantly attacked by the Central Asians, who were the followers of nature, Then mention further after it. Who were the followers of nature? There were two tasks before Mahmud of Ghajni. That is to protect Samanid area, and number 2, to propagate Islam. To protect Samanid area and to propagate Islam. Then mention further. He was able to convince Central Asians. He was able to convince Central Asians to convert to Islam. In this endeavor, full stop के बाद लिखो, in this endeavor, the book of Firdausi, Sahanama, played a vital role. Book of Firdausi, Sahanama, played a vital role. Then mention further. After it, full stop के बाद देखो, Ghajni decided to invade India. After it, Ghajni decided to invade India to improve his wealth. And to establish himself as the most powerful ruler. Establish himself the most powerful ruler. Then you write after it. He invaded India 17 times. He invaded India 17 times. 17 times. Performed worst types of the crimes. Performed worst type of the crimes. Killed people. Looted cities and temples. Looted cities and temples. Full stop. Then mention cities and temples. His last attack was on the temple of Somnath. His last attack was on the temple of Somnath in 1025 AD. 1025 AD. He destroyed and demolished. Somnath temple. Then, so now when he has returned back, so it is said that he was terminally ill after it, and continuously 9 years he was on bed. He was not able to do anything, and finally he met a very bad kind of death in 1035. Then, so that's about the Mahmud of Ghajani. Whatever be the outcome of his invasions, there was one such information, or basically one such inspiration, motivation to the people in the Western Asia, that whenever they need money, they can always go to this place. Then, so it took a little bit of time. Then, so from 1025 to 1150, there was no such big invasion. Then, this is a kind of a lull period, or you can say that it is a silent period which is forming the cyclone. Then, so now once again what has happened? Now third invasion we are leading to. So third invasion is the invasion of the Mahmud of Ghuri, okay? Or Ghor actually. Now, so what is this name? Ghor or Ghajani? Their original names are not Ghajani and they are not Muhammad Ghuri, okay? Those were the times when the names were ascribed to the origin or place of their birth. Then, so Ghajani is also a place in Afghanistan, and so as the Ghor is also a place in the Afghanistan. So since their birth has happened in these all cities, so they were called like this. So now Mahmud of Ghor, we popularly call him Muhammad Ghuri. Then, and his original name was Muhammad bin Qasim Sam. Okay? So this has been the original name. Now 1150, he is going to attack or divert his attention towards India. But how? ध्यान से समझना. The Samanid area, which was ruled by Mahmud of Ghajani after his death, then so it has been ruled by the Seljuks. Seljuk समझना. Who are Seljuk? So Seljuks are those people whose lineage is half Turkish and half either the Afghan or the Persian. Okay? So Seljuks dominated the area of the Western Asia. Now in Seljuks also, by 1140s, there was a division which happened. And division is known as, one is the two branch. So one was based in Khwarizmi and another branch of the Seljuk which was based in Ghurid. Then, so Ghurid. Now both the branches of the Seljuk, they started to fight with each other. And their fight, once again, it is for the most important area in those times, and that is Syria. Okay? So they were fighting for the Syria. Now in this fight, what happened? This Khwarizmi branch of this Seljuk, they defeated Ghurid. Muhammad bin Ghor, then whom we call Muhammad Ghuri. So now he was defeated. After this defeat, there was no other option left with him than to divert his attention to India. So he started his campaign of India from 1150s. But then his first success. So by 1170, he controlled two areas in Indian subcontinent, Multan and Uch. Okay? So he captured Multan and Uch. After Multan and Uch, He wanted to capture, just like the Mahmud of Ghazni, he was inspired that he can control the Gujarat. Then he marched towards the Gujarat. This time, Raja Bhimdev Solanki II was there in the Gujarat. They were well prepared and they defeated Muhammad Ghori. So now there was no success. After this success is not there, so then he decided that he will rather penetrate into the northwestern part of India. Let's organize a fight over here. And this fight was with the Prithviraj Chauhan of Ajmer. So the area for which they are going to fight, so area is known as Tabare-Hind. Tabare-Hind. And what is Tabare-Hind? So this is the modern Bhatinda of Punjab. Okay? And for the control of Tabare-Hind, the Rajput ruler Prithviraj Chauhan and Muhammad Ghori, they fought in the first battle of Tarain. Okay? So first battle of Tarain, Muhammad Ghori was defeated, and this fight was in 1191. But then happened the second battle, and the second battle is the in 1192. So second battle of Tarain, in which Prithviraj Chauhan was defeated. But then there are some sub stories also. We will mention it. थोड़ा सा लिखो. Yep. कुछ पूछ रहे हो? No. चलो. So let's write. Third you write. First तो लिख लिया, second लिख लिया है ना? तो third. So पहले title लिखो. Invasion of Muhammad Ghori. Let me write. Original name Muhammad bin Sam. But then लिखने की जरूरत नहीं. Just go with the Ghori. Right. In the 12th century AD, Samanid area was ruled by Seljuks. Full stop. Mention. Two branches of Seljuks developed over the period in West Asia. Then mention further. West Asia, full stop. That is Khwarezmi branch and Ghurid branch. It's all written on board. You can see the spelling. That is Khwarezmi branch and Ghurid branch. Mention. Both the branches wanted to control Syria. Which led to fight. Both the branches wanted to control Syria, which led to fight. In this fight, Ghurids were defeated. Full stop. As such, Ghurid ruler, Muhammad bin Sam or Muhammad Ghori. Muhammad bin Sam or Muhammad Ghori decided to divert his attention towards Indian subcontinent. Then mention. Initially he captured Initially, he captured Multan and Uch. Multan and Uch by 1170. Multan and Uch by 1170. Full stop. He also fought with Raja Bhim Dev Solanki. Raja Bhim Dev Solanki, but was defeated. Full stop. He decided to divert his attention. Towards Tabar-e-Hind. Or modern Bhatinda. So now listen, that we are leaving the topic. Let's talk about some of the rulers of the India at this time. So basically, when the attack of the Muhammad Ghori is happening, who are rulers in the northern part of India, central part of India? So basically, Rajputs were the rulers in this part of India. Understand? So these Rajputs, who are they? So in Delhi, Tomars were the Rajput rulers of Delhi. Then Ajmer, Chauhan. Okay? Then Malwa, Parmar. Then Gujarat, Chalukya, Solanki. So basically, this Solanki that we have written, they claim themselves to be the clans of the Chalukya. So Chalukya, Solanki. Then in Bundelkhand, Chandelas are there. Then so these were, and in Kannauj, Gehdolas were there. So these are the Rajput rulers in the upper part of India. Out of it, some of them they claimed themselves to be the Agnikul Rajput. Okay? So Agnikul Rajput, meaning that they claim that their lineage is from the Agni only. So these are the Chauhans. Okay? So Chauhans, they claim themselves to Agnikul. Then Parmars of Malwa. Then Chalukya Solanki and then Chandelas. So they claim themselves to be the Agnikul, but Gehdolas were not Agnikul, and so as the Tomars were not Agnikul. So ये differentiation इसलिए है कि since the Gehdolas are not Agnikul, so they will not accept Chauhans in the marriage proposals. So now understand. Prithviraj Chauhan, okay? So he was in love with the daughter of the Gehdola ruler, Jaichand, and the name of the daughter was Sanyogita. So they were in love with each other, and Jaichand never wanted this marriage to be solemnized, the traditional issues. And finally, what happened? Against the wishes of the father, Sanyogita eloped with the Prithviraj Chauhan. Now, so Jaichand has taken an insult in it, and then moreover he is seething with the revenge. So this is the information after the first battle of Tarain, when Muhammad Ghori was defeated. So then he got to know, and then he started persuading Jaichand to support him so that the revenge can be taken. Now with the support of the Jaichand, as it is said, that Prithviraj Chauhan was defeated, and then later on he was killed. So it led to the beginning of the informal Turkish rule in India, or some parts of India, not the entire part. Basically, the Chauhan regime and Delhi has come under their control. So in 1194, this guy, Muhammad bin Sam or Muhammad Ghori, he has sent his trusted slave Kutubuddin Aibak. And Kutubuddin Aibak fought with the Jaichand in the Battle of Chandavar 1194, which is today's Etawah, and then he killed Jaichand. So this is the formal beginning of the informal rule, of the informal Turkish rule. So why we are calling it as an informal Turkish rule? Because Muhammad Ghori did not declare the formation of a kingdom over here. He is just saying that it is the extension of his Ghurid rule in India. So his kingdom is based in the Ghurid only. Now in 1206, what has happened? That when he was returning, Muhammad Ghori came to India to celebrate some victory in the Afghanistan. When he was returning, so that is the time when the Khokhar Jats in the Salt range, they have killed Muhammad Ghori, and then after it is Qutbuddin Aibak. He declared the formation of Delhi Sultanate, which is separate from the Ghurid. Then, so 1206 is the foundation of the Delhi Sultanate. Mention, you're right. So what is the last line? Change paragraph and then you write. Meanwhile, the north and the upper part of India, north and central part of India, north and central part of India was ruled by many Rajput dynasties. Many Rajput dynasties like Tomars of Delhi, Chauhans of Ajmer, Chalukya Solanki of Gujarat, Parmar of Malwa, Pratihar Gurjara of West. Then what is remaining? Chandela of Bundelkhand, and Gehdola of Kannauj. Then mention. अब फिर से पैराग्राफ चेंज करो. Still writing? Mention. On the question of Tabar Hind, Muhammad Ghuri fought with. On the question of Tabar Hind, Muhammad Ghuri fought with Ajmer ruler. On the question of Tabar Hind, Muhammad Ghuri fought with Ajmer ruler Prithvi Raj Chauhan in the first battle of Tarain. First battle of Tarain. (1191). First battle of Tarain, 1191. Ghuri was defeated. After which he started to hatch a conspiracy. Against Prithviraj Chauhan. With the Gehdola ruler Kannauj. Jaichand. And earlier, full stop के बाद लिखो, earlier Jaichand's daughter Sanyogita eloped with Prithviraj Chauhan. Which was not liked by Jaichand. Then mention. As such, as such, during the Second Battle of the Rhine, as such, during the Second Battle of the Rhine, 1192, Second Battle of the Rhine, 1192, Jaichand supported Muhammad Ghori. Jaichand supported Muhammad Ghori, and it led to defeat of Prithviraj Chauhan. It led to defeat of PRC, Prithviraj Chauhan. Then paragraph change karo, right? In 1194, trusted slave. In 1194, trusted slave of Muhammad Ghori, Qutb-ud-Din Aibak. Qutb-ud-Din Aibak defeated and killed Jaichand. Qutb-ud-Din Aibak defeated and killed Jaichand in Battle of Chandavar. Defeated and killed Jaichand in Battle of Chandavar, which led to the beginning of informal Turkish rule in India. Informal Turkish rule in India. Informal Turkish rule in India. Full stop. In 1206, Muhammad Ghori was killed by Khokhars in Salt Range. Muhammad Ghori was killed by Khokhars in Salt Range. Salt Range is now in which area? Where? Pakistan. Okay. It's a hill name. Okay. So, Salt Range, then mention. After the death of Ghori, Aibak declared formation of Delhi Sultanate. In 1206. Formation of Delhi Sultanate in 1206. Got it? So this is what is all about this particular part. Take it. So the next class, whenever it is going to be there, so we'll resume from the Delhi Sultanate. So this is what is about the linkage between the medieval and the end of the ancient. Chalo, thank you. Meet you.